These 15 car models are essentially worthless now in 2026, some of them losing 50, 60, even 80% of their value in under 2 years. And if you bought one of them new, you may be badly underwater on your loan right this minute. Before the countdown, understand what you are actually watching here. Ordinary depreciation is a vehicle losing maybe half its value over 5 years. What is on this list is different. This is collapse, and collapse happens for a small number of specific reasons that repeat over and over. The manufacturer discontinued the model, so it is an orphan with no future support. The company itself got into trouble. Dealers piled on massive discounts on brand new inventory, which drags every used example down with it. Or the vehicle had real documented problems that got around. Watch for those 4 causes as we go, because they are the pattern, and by the end you will be able to spot the next one before you sign anything. And let me explain why this matters more than it sounds, because a lot of folks hear depreciation and think it is somebody else's problem. If you financed one of these with little down on a 6 or 7 year note, your loan balance is falling in a straight line while the vehicle's value fell off a cliff, which means you now owe thousands more than the thing is worth. You cannot sell it without writing a check. You cannot trade it without rolling that negative balance into the next loan, which is how people end up financing $60,000 on a $40,000 vehicle. If any of these is sitting in your driveway, the smartest thing you can do is find out today what you owe and what it is actually worth, because you cannot make a good decision without both numbers. We are going from bad to worse. Now, before we get into it, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy these mechanic secrets and hacks for free, consider subscribing. It is free and you can always change your mind later. Now let's get into it. Number 15, the Ford F-150 Lightning. Ford electrified America's best-selling truck and then watched it struggle. This thing sheds nearly half its value from a $74,000 sticker in under 2 years, which is around $35,000 gone. Here is why nobody wants them used. Cold weather destroys the range. One owner started a 37-degree morning showing 149 miles of range, drove 64 miles towing nothing, and had 37 miles left. He lost 112 miles of indicated range, driving 64. Towing is worse. Hook up 3,700 pounds, travel 32 miles, and you can burn through 90 miles of range, roughly 3 times worse than not towing. And understand what that means in practice for a truck owner, because a truck that cannot tow a trailer any real distance without a long charging stop is not doing the one job the customer bought it for. Traditional truck buyers wanted proven F-150 durability, not arithmetic like that. Production has already been halted for stretches, with dealers sitting on months of unsold inventory. When a manufacturer starts publicly reconsidering a product this quickly, resale does not recover, it falls further. Number 14, the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. This was supposed to compete with the Escalade, and at $103,000, it certainly had the price tag. Nearly half of that value is gone, which is close to $50,000. The parent company has been struggling across the board with recalls and quality complaints, and the Grand Wagoneer got caught in that undertow. Then there is the identity problem. Who buys a $100,000 Jeep? Cadillac buyers want the Cadillac badge, Mercedes buyers want German luxury, and this splits the difference and appeals to almost nobody. And here is the killer. Dealers were so desperate to move them that $15,000 to $20,000 off sticker became normal on brand new units. When brand new models sell at discounts like that, used values do not stand a chance. Number 13, the Genesis GV60. Genesis launched their first dedicated electric model with real optimism, and the market answered with a shrug. It loses about half of a $63,000 price, roughly $31,000 erased. The real damage is quality complaints. One 3-year owner documented 10 separate major system failures, none of them resolved. The driver display shutting off in cold weather, which leaves you with no speedometer. Phantom emergency braking, where the vehicle slams the brakes mid-intersection during a turn. A phone as key feature that frequently does not work. One owner reported spending close to 100 days in loaner vehicles over 2 years, while the dealer kept writing "no issue found" on the ticket. Beautiful engineering nobody wants is a fatal combination for resale. Number 12. The Tesla Cybertruck. Demand was described by the company's own leadership as being off the charts. 2 years later, it has lost around half its value in under 2 years. Over 1 million people put deposits down. What arrived was a sharp, blocky, stainless steel machine that alienated actual truck buyers, the contractors and tradespeople and ranchers who need a work vehicle. Early speculators flipped them for big money in late 2023, and within months those same trucks lost tens of thousands. Tesla ramped production so hard they created inventory backlogs nobody wanted. Quality problems surfaced within weeks of launch, panels and parts and fit issues documented faster than anyone could deny them. And when the factory started discounting brand new inventory, used values collapsed entirely. This is my first-year rule in bold print. Never buy the first year of anything, and especially never buy the first year of an entirely new kind of anything. Number 11. The Toyota BZ4X. Yes, even Toyota. Their first serious electric attempt lost half its value from a $42,000 price. Over $21,000 gone. The launch was a disaster because Toyota had to recall every single one over a problem where the wheels could come loose while driving. That is not a minor annoyance, that is a catastrophic issue, and it destroyed buyer confidence before the vehicle had a chance. On top of that, the charging speed lagged behind competitors. Range topped out around 228 miles, which was mediocre for the segment, and owners reported regenerative braking behavior that could be alarming. The lesson here is important. Even the most reliable manufacturer on earth can produce a bad vehicle when it is the first attempt at a new technology. Number 10. The Dodge Hornet. Dodge took an Alfa Romeo, changed the grille, and called it American muscle, and buyers saw through it immediately. It loses over half of a $38,000 price, $20,000 in under 2 years. The electrical system is the real story. Owners report dashboards going completely blank, cruise control deactivating on its own, alarms going off at random. One owner's Hornet died completely at 6 months, and the dealer found 20 different error codes active at once. Another made 4 dealer visits in 6 months for the same electrical fault, with the vehicle sitting at the shop for over a month straight. The parent company reportedly had well over 300 days of Hornet inventory sitting on lots. Dodge loyalists felt betrayed, and practical shoppers just bought a Honda or a Toyota. Number 9. The BMW iX. BMW's flagship electric SUV stickered around $105,000 and was supposed to be the pinnacle of German electric engineering. Instead, it turned into a $50,000 lesson in why even a prestigious badge cannot save you from electric depreciation. Divisive styling, a luxurious but overcomplicated interior full of touch-sensitive surfaces that frustrate more than they impress. BMW flooded dealers with inventory in a rush to join the electric race, and with no tax credit available on imported models, they pushed aggressive lease deals. Those leases are maturing now, dumping thousands of 2-year-old examples onto a market that does not want them. One owner reported buying one and trading it 18 months later for a fraction of what he paid, saying he would go back to a gasoline X5 and never do it again. It is a capable vehicle. It is not a $105,000 capable vehicle, and the resale market has said so. Number 8. The Audi RS e-tron GT. Audi's electric performance car promised Porsche-level speed with Audi luxury for $168,000 and delivered one of the worst depreciation hits in the entire luxury electric segment. Over half its value gone, which is roughly $90,000. Let that sit for a second. You could buy a very serious sports sedan with the money that evaporated, and that sedan would actually hold its value. The problem is simple. This shares its engineering with the Porsche version, and the Porsche is the more desirable car, better regarded, and stronger on resale. Why would anybody pay near Porsche money for the alternative? And Audi's broader electric lineup has underperformed, so buyer confidence in the whole range took the hit together. Number 7. The Alfa Romeo Giulia. The Giulia drives beautifully. It also brakes frequently. That combination produces over 50% depreciation from a $51,000 price. Owners report more service appointments than oil changes. Electronic throttle failures, engine computers going down, random limp mode activations. Trade-in values swing wildly between $24,000 and $36,000 for identical model year cars, which tells you the trade desks do not know what they are holding. It competes with the German 3, all of which have better technology, better reliability reputations, and far better resale, so the Giulia has to be priced thousands lower just to get considered. Wonderful car to drive, expensive car to own. Number 6. The Nissan Ariya. Nissan's electric comeback fell over 50% from around $50,000, some $27,000 erased. It arrived at the worst possible moment, an imported electric vehicle launching into tariffs and shifting incentive rules, at a point when manufacturers were already losing money selling electric vehicles and suddenly had less reason to keep pushing them. Sales tanked. Nissan slashed prices on the newer model year, which destroyed the equity of everyone who bought the year before overnight, and then came the final blow, discontinuation in America. No future product, no long-term parts confidence, and owners left holding the bag. Real listings show one that sold for $48,500 new, listed at $22,300 a year later. Number 5. The Jaguar I-PACE. Jaguar's Tesla competitor aged disastrously, losing well over half of a $73,000 price, more than $43,000 gone. Jaguar announced its discontinuation as the company pivots, which orphans everyone on the road. No future support, no parts confidence, no value retention, and the technology dated badly, charging at a fraction of the speed of newer competitors, which means a stop that takes somebody else 20 minutes takes you closer to 45. The I-PACE pioneered the luxury electric SUV segment and then could not survive in it. Number 4. The Mercedes EQS SUV. Mercedes positioned this as the electric S-Class, and it became the electric embarrassment, shedding over 60% from a $108,000 price. Reviewers nicknamed it the driving egg because that slippery aerodynamic shape alienated traditional S-Class buyers who wanted presence and prestige. At $110,000, people expected S-Class materials and got cheap plastics, a cramped third row, and overcomplicated interfaces. Then the hidden ownership costs finish the job. This thing devours tires, with owners reporting replacements every 15 to 20,000 miles because of the weight, at $1,200 to $1,500 a set. That terrifies used buyers, and rightly so. Low-mileage examples now trade around $60,000 against original stickers well over $125,000. Number 3. The Maserati Levante. A 70% loss on a vehicle that stickered anywhere from $90,000 to $130,000. Financed buyers went underwater instantly. Insurance averages thousands a year, fuel is punishing at 15 miles a gallon, oil changes run hundreds, and a brake job can run into the thousands. Maserati ranks at or near the bottom in reliability surveys year after year. The 2024 model year was the last one, so the line is dead, and dead models have dead resale. 5-year data shows around 3/4 of the value gone, with most of the damage in years 1 and 2. Ferrari-derived engines and economy car resale value. Number 2, the Toyota Mirai. This one represents the failure of hydrogen passenger cars in America, and it is the most brutal case on this list for ordinary owners. A 77% collapse from around $64,000. Used ones list for $7,000 to $10,000. Some dealers offered a $1,000 trade-in and others refused to take them at all. How does Toyota, of all companies, create America's most worthless car? Not with the machine. The machine is fine. Refueling infrastructure closed down. Major hydrogen stations shut permanently in the only state where these were really sold. Hydrogen pricing tripled, with a full tank costing around $180, roughly triple gasoline per mile. Owners report spending 2 to 3 hours driving 20-odd miles to refuel, at stations that malfunction constantly, with pumps freezing onto vehicles and supply running dry for days. Owners have filed suit claiming the infrastructure was misrepresented. A car that cannot refuel is worthless by definition, and that is a warning about buying into infrastructure that does not exist yet, not about Toyota. The vehicle was built to Toyota's usual standard. The world around it simply did not show up. And number 1, the worst of them all, the Fisker Ocean. 80% of its value gone in under 2 years. Vehicles that cost between $41,000 and $64,000 are selling for $8,000 to $12,000. When Fisker filed for bankruptcy in June of 2024, the Ocean became something new in automotive history, a digital brick risk. Modern vehicles are software-defined machines that need cloud servers for updates and features, and without a company hosting those servers, they risk becoming static objects. Key fobs failing to unlock vehicles, driver assistance systems ceasing to function, the signature rotating screen freezing or going black. The collapse was not mechanical, it was digital. That is the newest and most important warning on this entire list. When you buy from a startup, you are not just betting on the car. You are betting the company will still exist to keep the software alive. So there are the 15, and here is what I want you to take away, because it is not what you think. Notice how few of these collapsed for mechanical reasons. Orphan models, bankrupt or struggling manufacturers, factory discounts on new inventory, and missing infrastructure did nearly all the damage. That is a completely different risk than a bad engine, and it is one almost nobody checks before signing. So before you buy anything new, ask 4 questions. Is this model likely to be around in 5 years, or is it a first attempt that could be canceled? Is the company financially healthy? Are dealers already discounting brand new units heavily, because that is the tell that the market has already decided and you are just the last to know? And does this vehicle depend on infrastructure or servers that somebody else has to keep running? 4 questions, 10 minutes of searching, and they will protect you from every single mistake on this list. And here is the flip side, which nobody talks about. Every one of these is now a used bargain for somebody. And I have said before that the best deals in this business come from vehicles with bad reputations rather than bad engineering. A few on this list qualify, and a few absolutely do not. The rule is simple. Buy the collapse when the cause was image or a company's marketing failure. Never buy the collapse when the cause was orphaned software, dead infrastructure, or documented failures nobody can fix. So a discounted luxury electric SUV that got mocked for its shape is a very different proposition from a hydrogen car that cannot be refueled, or an electric vehicle from a bankrupt company whose servers may go dark. One is a bargain, the other is a very expensive lawn ornament. And if you already own one of these, one piece of advice: do not panic sell into the bottom, because panic selling locks in the loss. Work out what you owe, work out what it is worth, and if the gap is large, the usually correct answer is to keep it, maintain it well, and drive it until the loan catches up with the value. The depreciation already happened. Selling now does not undo it, it just hands the remaining value to somebody else. Down in the comments, tell me which of these shocked you the most, and if you own one, tell me honestly what it has been like and what you were offered on trade, because those numbers help everybody watching, and I read every single one. Until then, check the company before you check the car, and never buy the first year of anything. Don't let them sell you a repair you don't need. I'll see you in the next one.